Why I quit a 60k banking job in London to start a personal training business. Now, before I get into this video, I'm not telling you to go and quit your jobs and go find yourself and not be able to afford your fruit and veg and the rent and bills that you need to pay. So make sure that you can cover all of that. This is more about my personal experience of why I was very unfulfilled in the previous work I was doing and the changes that I knew I needed to make, the lessons I've learned along the way around now being 2 years into a personal training business, having done 6 years previously in my finance jobs. So rewinding a few years, my story, long story short, was essentially did maths at university, then came out of uni at 22, did a bit of traveling, did Southeast Asia and did some of South America, moved to London, started a job, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then from the ages of 22 to 28, I was working in various different finance jobs in London, Canary Wharf, commuting into the main financial areas, financial districts, going to central London for a couple of jobs as well. Kept bouncing between different finance roles, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, basically, like a lot of us in our 20s, and absolutely nothing wrong with these sort of jobs if it's a good fit for you. But for me personally, I just knew something was wrong. I just had this feeling in my gut that I didn't really belong, you know. And the clue, looking back, the clue was that basically my lunch break would be rinsed to go run to the gym downstairs. So I was quite fortunate in the banks that I worked at that we had gyms like Nuffield Health basically attached to the building, and so you could sneak in a quick workout at lunch. But I'd often find myself chatting to the PTs in the gym there for quite a while, asking how they got into it, how did you move into PT, and how long you been coaching, blah 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 blah. And then, like a weirdo nerd that I am, I used to spend my weekends and evenings and time outside of the actual day job, the finance stuff, instead of reading about the financial market, stock exchange, and doing my research around the job. I naturally gravitated towards my understanding of nutrition, researching scientific studies on best nutrition approaches, gym training, different studies relating to that. And so I was acquiring this knowledge in my 20s, watching lots of YouTube videos about these different topics. And I remember looking at these guys on YouTube and Instagram and just being like, I want that. Like, I want to be the YouTuber. I watching videos and knowing that I had that knowledge myself, but I wasn't taking any action to change my situation at this point, right? So I was just sitting thinking about what I was going to do. And then one day it hit me in lockdown, where I'd originally been saving up cash before lockdown. I was quite fortunate that I'd planned, me and my housemate in London would plan to go traveling. So we were going to do Southeast Asia, South America, full year out, go find ourselves, right? So I've been banking cash. And then when lockdown hit, we had these one-way flights booked to Colombia, June 2020. And obviously with COVID, that didn't happen. So it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that I'd been saving up some cash for this big travel that I couldn't do anymore. And then I ended up moving back in with my parents outside London. I'm from Milton Keynes, which, if any of you in the UK watching probably knows, is a very exciting place full of roundabouts and not much else, but you know, it's home for me. And I moved back in with my parents, and yeah, I was working for about 6 months in the job that I previously planned to go quit and go traveling. And again, I was quite lucky because I was with my parents. I was just saving up cash for a few months, but then one day the penny dropped and I realized I'm just wasting time here. Like, you know, eventually you've got to take action on it. And so once I'd saved up enough cash to be able to start thinking about moving back to London, affording my bills, I did my PT course end of 2020. 2021 was setting up my Instagram, YouTube, and just setting up my social media presence, reaching out to family members, friends, all the people in my network to start a coaching business basically, and they were my initial clients. And then I went back into a day job in summer 2021, and then from there I tried to do the online stuff, the social media, alongside my day job, but nothing grew because I was having to do 37 hours in the day job, trying to cram in social media at the weekends, getting clients, and you know, I was just at a standstill. And so the lesson here really, for you watching this, is nothing really grew for me personally, or I didn't really start developing and being a lot more fulfilled until I went all in on what I kind of knew in my gut I needed to do. So eventually 2022 here, I had some counselling at the start of 2022, trying to figure out my headspace, what was going on, and I had therapy a couple of times, and I always kept referring back to, you know, the same thing, which was not happy at work, need to kind of change that. So then one day I finally handed in my notice and started at a gym. I'm based in a gym in Clapham Common, southwest London, and I started there May 2022. So at the time of recording this, at the end of April 2024, I've been a personal trainer for about 2 years, doing some online stuff as well, and it was the best decision I ever made. And eventually I got to a point where I just started going after my goals, and it is hard starting your own business. So if you are quitting a job to go do a passion project or whatever, you want to make sure that you've got enough finances, obviously, to make it work, and don't do anything reckless or anything. But this could apply to anything. So even if you don't want to quit your job and start a business, maybe you're just in a bit of a rut like I was, doing the same thing over and over again. I wasn't happy with my shape. I was just eating, drinking loads, finding a way to distract myself from my day job. And then once I actually started taking care of myself and pursuing my passion and going after what I wanted, that I knew in my gut, things started changing for the better. Started transforming my physique, my personal confidence. I was a lot happier, sleeping better, drinking less, betting less, doing all these things that I was previously doing just to distract myself from a situation I was unhappy in. And so, sometimes you just got to take a risk and go after what you know in your gut you would much rather be doing, because I'm a big believer that you don't have to, love your job watching this, and it's not realistic for everyone to love the job unless they're like a footballer or, everyone's got bits of their jobs that they don't like as much. But you can't hate your work. I honestly believe that, because if you absolutely hate your work and you hate your life Monday to Friday like I was doing, it is a miserable existence, and then that manifests itself in you just doing other things, drink, going out partying too much, betting, whatever it is, searching for thrills to distract yourself. And so you've got to kind of find something Monday to Friday or whenever you're working that you see a bit more purpose in. It doesn't have to be a dream job, but you have to be content. Maybe it gives you the right work-life balance. Maybe it gives you all the things that you want to do in terms of enough money to travel, enough time off work, and you've got a good balance with things, right? So whatever your priority is, you'll know that in your gut. And what is the worst case that's going to happen? If you take a risk at this point in life, whatever stage of life you are at, 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever it is, it's never too late. And life's going to pass you by so quickly. Time flies, right? I don't know how we're in May 2024 of this time of recording. So if life's going to go that quickly, don't take it for granted, and just take a risk. The worst case scenario is you can just go back to what you were doing before. And so if you're in a rut, whether it be physically, mentally, unhappy with your work, or maybe you're unhappy with your shape, if you're not confident in how you look and how you feel, I've seen this with my own clients, like people transforming their mindset, being so mentally strong and physically strong now compared to where they were before they started working with me, or before people take action on their fitness goals. So if you're in a rut and you feel rubbish, nothing's going to change until you take action on it. And that's the big lesson that I learned. If I could go back and in my early 20s just start again, or start pursuing this, it's very easy in hindsight to say that. So my advice would be to just get after it and get going towards something that you need to make a change in. So if it's going to be hard initially, if it's changing your diet, if it's getting more active, if it's getting in the gym, if it's starting a business, if it's applying for different jobs, all of that's going to be hard at the start, but it will be worth it when you are more fulfilled in general. And that is the main reason why I quit a job that was paying me 60,000 a year, really good salary, and I had to start again. I remember walking in on day one of the gym with 0 clients and just savings, and then gradually over the 2-year period it built up nicely, and it may take you a little bit longer to get to where you want to get to, but you're going to be more happy as a result. So I hope you found this useful in some way. If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan and I simplify losing fat and building muscle. Yeah, drop me a subscribe if you're new, hit like if you found this useful in some way, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching if you made it this far.